I asked them, even though I was pregnant, if I could please run the project for implementation. And so knowing that our go live date was going to be real close to the go live date, they still let me run it. The reason that I am where I am is because Viking allowed me to move forward without the piece of paper.
Talk about some of the cool things that we've got upcoming.
So on the sales front, we have our customer portal. We're looking into and starting to use some AI. And then on the manufacturing front, we're putting vision in place. And it's something that we are so dialed in on tolerances.
If you had some advice for somebody on how to build a career, floor is yours.
Whatever it is, try it. Because when you get into this industry, when something needs to be done, try to do it.
Welcome to another episode of the Viking Roundtable. I'm really excited today to have Danielle Walker, our ERP Manager. I think I've recoined your job title as the Technology Manager because I like to refer to your team as the Technology Team. But thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, excited to get into it. So I know you're really nervous. I didn't send you any questions. There's really no preparation. I think I texted you maybe at 8 o'clock this morning to see if you want to be on a podcast.
Super exciting.
Yeah, it kind of goes in line with how I do everything around here, isn't it?
Nice.
Yeah,
you know.
So, but well, no, I'm excited to have you, and happy Mother's Day, a day late, I guess.
Thank you. Did
your family take care of you?
I spent the day cleaning.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much. Pretty much the same old.
Doing your thing. Nice. Well, good. Well, we'll just jump right into it. So, so the Viking Roundtable is all about, giving the Viking team its platform and kind of making Viking more than just a company, right? And humanizing it a little bit. So the goal for this for me is just to get people's stories out in front of people and let the industry and anybody that watches this understand what kind of incredible people we've had. We've had a bunch of managers meetings. I think that we always kind of circle back to no matter what kind of product we're putting out, no matter how good of the quality the product is, it's the people that matter, and taking care of those people and helping further their career, but also, providing a workplace that's that people want to come to, a place that I've always said I want people beating down the door to come work at Viking. And so let's talk about your career. Start at Viking. You want to start?
Sure.
You go. How did you become the technology manager of Viking Power Technologies?
Well, I started working at Things Remembered. No, I'm just kidding. I started in the oil and gas industry. My first job was document control.
Okay.
And from there, I started working a little bit with the engineers, learning the routers because they needed some templates. Okay. And so then I was just the data entry for template. And I moved over into manufacturing support. And as you know, small businesses don't always have full staff for everything that they need. Yep. And so you start taking on a little bit of pieces of this and pieces of that, and somebody's out for the day, and so you do that, and you take on a lot more. And then when we switched over to Global Shop Solutions, I was one of the only people, I will say there were probably 3 of us, that had any Global Shop experience. And I asked them, even though I was pregnant, if I could please run the project for implementation. Oh. And so knowing that our go live date was going to be real close to the go live date, they still let me run it, and that's where we are.
How did that fall in line? Because this was even before
that was
Viking.
Prime.
This was
Correct.
Prime downhole technology. Yeah,
Correct.
Prime downhole manufacturing. Yep. So
it was 2018. Our go live date was set for October 1st, and my due date was October 3rd.
Who won?
The baby. Yeah, because they held off for a month. They didn't go live until November.
Right.
And that was a struggle, but we made it happen. And go November, let's do this.
There you go. That's awesome. So being the ERP manager and implementing that into the system, that was when we were manufacturing, different components for downhole equipment or completions equipment, things like that.
Yep.
It's a bit of a different animal than what we're doing now with power sections. So talk about that transition and what that looked like for you.
Yeah, that's been one of the really interesting things here. Not only the manufacturing of the downhole components, we had prototype work, and we had the service department, and then we had repair, and we have all these things. And when the power sections came in, you think it's easy because you're like, oh, it's just one thing. There are 2 things that they make. They just make rotors and stators.
Right.
Easy peasy. Yeah. Nope. There's lots of nuances.
Yeah.
And so kind of figuring out one of the little things is that's you. We do 1-piece work orders versus the manufacturing components where we do 10-piece work orders.
Sure.
And it was just one of those interesting things. Well, why do we do this? Well, that's because that's how the industry does it.
Right.
Well, somebody must have figured that out along the way. Let's not question it.
Yeah.
But then you start kind of questioning things and making things work for Viking's way, and that's where we're at.
Yeah. No, it's been it's been a good transition, and we went from a whole bunch of different things to now all we do is glue rubber into a steel tube, and not real complicated, right?
And well.
Yeah. So, well, with the ERP integration and with Global Shop, there's never really a perfect solution. So how do you deal with taking Global Shop and making it work for us versus just saying, oh, this is what it does?
First of all, Global Shop's super flexible. So I think that's one of the things about an ERP that makes it great. And then us being able to be flexible as well, kind of taking what is in the system already, what we need to do, and then you just have to look at the best way to attack it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's custom programming. Maybe that is, okay, well, we do it like this, but the system would work a little bit better if we did this. Let's do that. And you just have to find the avenues that work for us.
Sure. So with finding those avenues, and obviously as you've progressed in your career, let's not sell yourself short. So you have a family.
I do.
You have a full-time job.
I do.
And recently here, 6 months or so ago, you just graduated with another degree, correct? Tell me a little bit about all those.
Actually, it's my first degree.
Oh, okay.
I did not, you're supposed to get out of high school at 18, go directly to college, know what you want to do with your life, and that was not my path.
Yeah.
I was working here, and it got a little bit nerve-wracking, not necessarily here, but the oil and gas industry as a whole is not super stable. And I realized at some point, not only do I now know what I want to do with my life, but also if I was not at Viking, I would have to have the piece of paper.
Yeah.
Viking was the reason that I am where I am is because Viking allowed me to move forward without the piece of paper. But if I wasn't at Viking, I was going to need it.
Sure.
So I did that. But also going through college, actually knowing what you want to do and exactly where you're going to end up was so much easier than doing it at 18, trying to figure that out along the way.
That has always been an issue of I've got 2 education degrees and I've never stepped foot in a classroom.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't, I get that and I appreciate that. And, I think that's part of how we've been trying to build this over 5 years is find the right person.
Yes.
And
let that person
mold the role around that person. Obviously, there's goals for each one of those roles, and there's things that need to be accomplished. But I think that's kind of what we've had a lot of success with is finding, again, the right person. There's a certain set of skills that aren't trainable, right? The dedication to your job and those type of things, and allowing them to flourish. And I think you've done a really good job in that. And now you've not only graduated. You've got but we now have a technology team. It's not just, hey, call Danielle for everything.
Yes.
So talk about that and how that's helped you out.
So I recently was able to hire a second employee, which increases my team to 3. Very exciting. It was a week or 2 ago, I sat back and looked at everything and thought, how are we getting so much more accomplished now than what we were previously? And it really comes down to there's an extra 40 hours in our week.
Yeah.
It's not because anybody is better or it's just different. We have more time. And so it allows me to step back into a leadership role and be able to ask my team, what do you need from me? What do we need to accomplish these goals? This is your next step. Let's move towards that. And things that I just didn't have time before because I was the subject matter expert and I was the person that was doing the programming and I was doing all of those things. You don't have time for all that stuff. And now I do. And it's so nice to be able to sit back and watch the progress.
Right.
And lead the progress. That's just so fun for me.
And you did a tremendous thing for me, from my standpoint, where you didn't just say, hey, I need somebody else. I need more people. One of the more detailed emails I've ever received.
Wordy.
Laid it out and said, look, this is what we can accomplish with 2. This is what we can accomplish with 3. This is what we can, these are the advantages. And me personally, I saw that as a lot of growth from you because you're also very quick to say yes to every request. And sometimes would get bogged down in all of the, hey, quick fix. Before you know it, your full day is quick fix. And then you look back at the end of the week and you go, I had these goals to attain and I didn't get to any of them because I was fixing everything.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so that growth, talk about that growth and how you kind of transition from feeling like you have to say yes to everything to going, hold on a second, I don't have to do it all.
Yep. I still do a lot of quick fixes, I'm not going to lie, because there's some things you have to do for the team to move forward with their day, and that takes the priority. However, I have been able, now that I have my team, I feel like I need to protect them from the same things that I was falling into. And it's a lot easier for me to say on their behalf than it was on my behalf, no, we can't do that today. That's going to have to be tomorrow's problem, or that's going to be next week's problem. And I also have come to realize that people appreciate that more than, I'll get to it today, and then I don't get to it today. And now they're waiting on it and it's not done.
Yeah.
So that's been helpful. Having other people to protect is the mother instinct, I think.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, it's all about setting expectations, right? And delivering on those expectations, and then knowing yourself, knowing your team, and being able to, like you said, protect them to a certain extent, but also stretch them, right? You want to push them. You want to challenge them. So you said it. Talk about the mothering instinct. So talk about how, look, everybody wants to say that, their workplace is a family, and that we all have our families.
Yep.
We all have our work.
Yep.
How have you been able to balance all of that?
I mean, I think you and I talked about it recently. The phone is just always an extension of our hand. But with that said, Viking has allowed me to be the family person that I needed to be, which has been really nice. If you ask my boys, they would not realize how much I work at home because I leave it at what time I need to get them, and I get them and we go and do something, and then maybe I'm working while they're sleeping, but I am able to be there for them, and that is so important. And sometimes it is a struggle, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes work is going beautifully and everything is lined out perfectly. And then there was enough of that time and the freedom to do what I needed to do that when it's not going perfectly, it's okay. And we can get it handled.
Yeah, it's just understanding that balance, right? It's that circle of work provides for the family, family's why I do work, and just keep going back and forth and making sure they're all in symbiosis, I believe is the big word for the day. But
Right.
Well, that's outstanding. So what is next? I know we're working on some really innovative things, some really cool things. You and your team have done a tremendous job of working with the sales team on one front, and then on the operations side as well. So talk about some of the cool things that we've got upcoming.
Oh, am I letting cats out of bags?
Who knows?
Okay, all right. Well, let's see if I do. Okay, so on the sales front, we have our customer portal. And the really cool thing about that is not only are we handing the customers the ability to look for themselves to find some answers without having to wait on us, we're also tying it back to the ERP. And we're looking into and starting to use some AI to see if we can make things more efficient. And not because we want to take jobs away or because we don't want our people to do the things, but because those people are more than data entry.
That's right.
And we can use them for things that are more than data entry. So let's do that. And so that's really exciting. And then on the manufacturing front, we're putting Vision in place. And Vision has existed at Viking for a while, but we are moving on to Vision 2.0. And the exciting thing about that is that it was developed by our engineers. And it's something that we are so dialed in on tolerances and NCRs or anything that we need to track on those parts. It's just able to be found. There's history, there's all kinds of things. And it ties into the ERP. All the jobs that we're doing, we're capturing times on there, we're tying it into the manufacturing data. But that's going to give our engineering team the analysis tools that they need in order to move us to the next stage and make everything just a little bit better.
Yeah, it's the vision to me is so exciting because it has become a living, breathing organism. It's no longer a bunch of pieces of paper put, stuffed away in a file folder. It is, 6 months from now, if we need to know who injected a stator, who measured a stator, who put the prime and bond on, what time it was, how long it was there, all of that stuff, all of that information is now at our fingertips and is accessible and is something that we can get to immediately. And it's also a training aid for our guys. I mean, there's you guys, the team has done a tremendous job. Essentially, I like to say I could literally take the app, walk through the shop, and inject a stator by myself.
Should, yes.
And it's very intuitive. And like you said, we want to take the talents of our people and allow those to shine rather than being buried under the mundane, repetitive, handwrite something down, walk over the computer, then type it into the computer. That's all done and over with. And like you said, the amount of analysis, the amount of information our engineers now have to be able to look and go, how do we get better?
Yep.
And it's no longer about how do we get 15 more stators out a day. It's how do we save 5 minutes? How do we save 3 minutes so that we can be more efficient and we can be more responsive for our customers? And it'll also go a long way in developing new elastomers, which we're in the middle of. And so it's an extremely exciting tool. And even taking a step back and looking at the customer portal, that's something that we tell our customers all the time. We'd love to talk to our customers, but if we can save them 15 minutes waiting on an answer, and they can just open up their phone, look and go, that's where my stator is. Okay, I'll have it tomorrow.
Yep.
Or, oop, I need to switch this one.
Or here's my COC.
That's right.
Or I need an RGA. Let me just type it in real fast instead of going to the Excel that's on my computer and submitting that over. There's so many things that we're able to do more quickly and with that extension of your hand that we always have.
Yep.
So yeah, we're moving into some exciting territory.
That's outstanding. So what's beyond? What's the next step? I know, so we're in the middle of it, and now that you have a chance to say, oh, I'm not just buried by what's going on today, right? What do we have to look forward to in the future?
So one of the things we want to really ramp up on is our training, because whether it's on the tech side, whether it's on the manufacturing side, all of those things, training is where it's at. That's how we get better. That's how we keep maintaining good product. And so we're really beefing up our LMS. We're going deep dives into manufacturing through the ERP. We're doing our procedures. We're doing all of this and making sure that everybody's trained up. So that's exciting. Another thing is taking that AI piece and diving in a little bit deeper. Okay, so now we're entering sales orders with it. Now we're taking the RGAs from the customer portal and we're going to put those into it so that we're not having to do all that manual entry. But then the analyzing piece that we're having with Vision, what can we do there in terms of, hey, you guys have ordered this many of this stator. We're going to put that raw material on the shelf for you. What do we need to do in order to get this out to you faster? What can we do in terms of anything? So using the AI side of things to make us even more efficient at getting answers and moving forward is where we're headed.
That's awesome. I think, as we continue to go forward, it's ERP Manager, Technology Manager, Ambassador of Efficiency, maybe. Can I add that title?
Let's do that.
I like that. That is, I think everything that we're doing, we have to take advantage of what's out there, right? We can't be scared of AI. We can't be scared of all the new technology. We have to embrace it. We have to learn it. We have to take what we can that's good, and move forward with it and continue to grow. So one of the cool things about the LMS, and correct me if I'm wrong, but anytime that your team, and in conjunction with our HSE and our engineering team and training, anytime there's a new LMS added, everyone with the Vision app has their own login, and there will be a set amount of time where if you don't take this training, you essentially can't do your job.
Yeah,
so there's no way for our guys to get around the training. There's no way for our team to, I did it. No, you didn't, because you're now locked out of the system.
Yep,
so,
exactly. And that's putting those controls in place. Not that people are trying to get around the rules, but they forgot. And so we're helping them.
Sure. Yep, it's a nice reminder.
And yes, that is one of the things that we can do, is make sure that they did what they're supposed to, that we have control over what they have seen. And that's one of the things, even with the ERP training, that I try to make sure, yes, you can do that function already, but I want you to hear me say, this is how it needs to be done properly.
Absolutely.
And I just need you to click that button that says, yep, I saw that.
Yep. You got to see it. You got to do it. And I think, this week is a perfect example. This podcast will be released later, but this week we're going through our ISO and API audit. And I'll be very, very excited to hear what the auditor has to say about what we're setting up from a training standpoint and all those things. Because, signing a piece of paper that you were at a meeting with 27 other guys is one thing, but actually saying, you know what, these are all the trainings I've done, and I've had to do them on my login, no other way around it, because at every step along the process, you have to have a login capability. You have to have Vision. Vision has to be done for every job, whether it's, shipping and receiving all the way through final QC. And so it's a great way for us to make sure that we're maintaining and excelling our training, both from a technical standpoint, but also a health and safety standpoint. And cyber awareness is a huge thing. I got another one today that was
They have gotten
they're
really advanced.
They're fancy.
I had to send one over to our MSP today to have them, hey, is this safe to click? Because it does not look safe to click.
It doesn't look
and
safe
if I have to question it, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of them. So.
Yeah.
But well, that's awesome. I can't tell you, like I said, how excited I am for your team, for where you guys are going to push us to go. And instead of the technology department, for lack of a better term, trying to keep up, I really feel like you guys are going to push us to the next level. And I think that detailed email you sent me about why, I think we can probably go revisit that time frame and go, actually, we might be a little ahead of the curve, and these are the new things that we're going to start adding. And I think that's a tremendous feather in your cap and your team's.
Thank you. I gave myself some padding on there because I wasn't quite sure until you get your team in place what it's going to look like. Sure. And now I know what they're capable of, and we're ready.
They're outstanding. And you did a good job. They're two completely different personalities, and they just fit really well together. So and
skill sets and experience and all the things, and they are just jiving.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding. Well, Danielle, I really appreciate you being here. This is something that I'm going to do at all the Viking Roundtables, and I might have given you a little more heads up than I gave Kaylee and some of our other guests. But
thank you.
So the cameras are yours. The time is yours.
Oh, gosh.
And so I want you, somebody's out there going, I don't know what I want to do when I graduate high school. I don't know if the oil and gas is right for me. If you had some advice for somebody that, think back 10 years ago or whatever, when you were in your position of trying to figure out what to do, if you had some advice for somebody on how to build a career, how to get to where you are today and beyond, floor is yours.
Okay. Try it. Whatever it is, try it. Because when you get into this industry and you're hired for, an admin position and you have no idea what you want to do with your life, when something needs to be done, try to do it. Can you do that? Is it exciting for you? Is that something that you want to continue doing? Or did you do it and go, ooh, no? Because that's not my job, doesn't work. Until, there's a time and a place to say no. I know I get knocked sometimes for saying yes too much, but what got me to where I am is the ability to say, I don't know, let's click that button. Don't do that. Don't click buttons. Don't click links. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But click the button, try the thing. If somebody asks you how to do something, think it through, figure it out, throw it out there, even if you don't know if it's the right answer. Because they don't know the answer either, or they wouldn't have asked the question.
Right. Yeah.
And just do it. Just do it.
Awesome.
This is not a Nike commercial.
This is not a Nike commercial, but we take their sponsorship if they wanted to.
Exactly.
So.
Thank you.
No,
yes.
No, great. Well, thank you again for being on here. This has been another episode of the Viking Roundtable, where we're highlighting what makes Viking special and why we're separating ourselves from our competition. Thank you guys again for joining us. Thank you again, Danielle Walker, and our ERP Manager / technology team. So really appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Danielle.
Sure.